I'm Paul Bennett at Shoestring Shipyard here in Milbridge, Maine. We're located along Maine's Bowl Coast, not very far from the U.S.-Canadian border.
You'll want to refer to NOAA chart 13324, and you'll notice that you enter Narraguagus Bay and then up into the Narraguagus River, and at the head of the bay you'll find the town of Milbridge and the town marina. Welcome to Milbridge, Maine, my hometown and my home port.
This is the harbor in Milbridge, Maine. It's also the head of the Narraguagus River. And over to my right, where these cars are crossing the bridge over here, there's a couple of bridges. That's where the Narraguagus River continues going inland. And of course, here the main part, the head of the Narraguagus, is a little bit of a bay. It's also the harbor for Milbridge. It continues out into open ocean. And as I pan over here to my left, what I'm looking at now is the Milbridge Marina. That's what it's called. It's really a town pier. And there's also a landing ramp here for launching boats. There's a parking area. I'm going to go over there shortly. And that's the extent of it. Now, if you come into Milbridge as a port of call, you can see as I pan around, when you come in here, you look around and you don't see anything. You figure, hey, there's nothing here. And some people have reported that in their cruising guides. That's not true. A little bit later, I'm going to show you, a very short distance away, where you have access to all kinds of services. I'm now leaving the Milbridge Marina, and I set my odometer at 0. And if you do come ashore, there is a dinghy dock here at the town marina. So if you drop the hook, come in the dinghy, tie up, and you want to go into town, you want to see what's available for services, that's what I'm doing now. This is what it'll look like. This is well within walking distance. Just a short road out of the marina that just goes around the bay here. And the bridge that I showed you earlier, we're going to cross that and go right into town. It's not very far. So far I've done about a quarter of a mile. So you're looking at maybe close to half mile maybe. We just take a left out of here. Narraguagus River on the right. The head of the Narraguagus River, or the bay coming into what makes up Milbridge Harbor here on my left. Cross over these bridges that I showed earlier. And just a short ways up, right up this little hill here, is Main Street. It's also US Route 1. And when that truck is turning, that's US Route 1. But I'm going to turn sooner than that. This is called School Street. I'm taking a left on now. In School Street, it's just a little dead end. I just want to show you where these facilities are. If you needed them, fire department's here on the left. This is the town office on my left. It's also the public library. And over to my right is the U.S. Post Office. Over here. And then straight ahead, end of the line, is the Milbridge Medical Center. That's this building I'm looking at right here. And it overlooks the bay, the harbor. So I'm now turned around and I'm exiting School Street. I'm going to go to Main Street. So it's only a half a mile into town from the marina. It's not really a very long walk. Also, there's a bank here on the corner. This is the Bar Harbor Bank and Trust right there. You have a dead end here. We're going to take a left onto US Route 1, which is Main Street. If you took a right, there's a lumber yard just a few hundred yards down on the right. And here we are on Main Street. First thing I come to is a drugstore. So if you had a need, this is the Milbridge drugstore right here, Milbridge Pharmacy, right here on the right that I'm looking at. To the left of me, this is the River Lily. It's a little gift shop. Just beyond the River Lily on the left is the Main Street Market, which is a gas station. It has a convenience store. It also has a little lunch counter in there. Just a little bit further down, also on the left, is the Milbridge House restaurant. And the Milbridge House restaurant isn't open right now, but directly across the street right here is 44 Degrees North Restaurant and Pub. And these are the two sit-down restaurants here in Milbridge. The Milbridge House, it has the best fish and chips anywhere along the Bull Coast. Really good food. They're normally open for breakfast and lunch. Today's a day they're not open, but they're open most of the time. And then here across the street, well, I'm parked right in front of 44 North, so I'm not getting a good view of it. They're only open for lunch and dinner, and they do have a bar if you want some adult beverages. On the right is the Seaworthy Center. A new business is going to go in there shortly. Next to that is the Camden National Bank. And across the street here you see a boat builder. And but to the left of the boat builder, where they're breaking ground, you see construction over here. That's going to be the home of the new Milbridge Theater. There was a theater there. It was too old and it was torn down, but a new one's going in its place. And then to my left, where a truck's just pulling out there, pickup truck, Vasquez Mexican Takeout. The Vasquez family has been around for quite some time here in Milbridge, maybe about 18, 19 years. And originally from Mexico, and they have the best Mexican food around. They're a seasonal business, and they have not opened for the season yet, but within the next couple of weeks they should be open. Next along Main Street on the right hand side, right across from the Vasquez Mexican restaurant, is the Bayside Shop and Save. That's a grocery store, and it's part of the Hannaford chain, although it's independently owned. And then as we get down Main Street a little further, on the left is actually a Family Dollar, which is right there. And on my right is the Schooner Gallery. That's an art gallery. A little bit further down, you'll see that there is well, there's an insurance company here, but there's also the Milbridge Historical Society, and they have a museum, which is right here. And then here is the headquarters for WHRL, Women for Healthy Rural Living. Also, further down Main Street, just off of Main Street and to the left, and it's hard to see through all of this, the trees and the bushes, but there's actually a little shipyard over there, and they handle all the commercial craft. And directly across the street from the WHRL, I'm going to cross over now, is the Milbridge Commons Wellness Park. And this is relatively new. The Women for Healthy Rural Living, WHRL, they're the ones who actually put this park in. And it's open to the public. They have a walking track that goes around, get a little exercise. It's overlooking the bay here. And all the gardens you see, they're all vegetable gardens. It's part of the Incredible Edible Milbridge program. And these vegetable gardens you'll find all throughout the town. And the motto is, if it's ripe, pick it. The vegetables that grow here are free to everyone and anyone. If you feel like some fresh veggies, help yourself. Everything from lettuce to cilantro to tomatoes to peppers and cabbage and beans and you name it. Tomatillos. There's all kinds of stuff they grow through here. Kale. And it's just a nice setting, and you have the walking track that goes all around it. So I'm continuing. This is US Route 1 southbound as I head out of town. It's pretty much the end of Main Street. But the reason why I'm continuing on Route 1 South, leaving Main Street here, is because I want to show you other facilities or businesses that are available if you need them. And we're just on Main Street, which is within half a mile of the marina. So you can see all of those different services and businesses that are available to you. So just outside of town, less than half a mile outside of town here, there is Noel Marine Supplies. If you need various marine goods, fasteners and things, and paints or whatever. And if you need parts, other marine supplies, including various engine parts and things. Right here, right across the street from Noel Marine, is Rumry's Marine. So then I continue a little bit further. So I come down the road here, within a couple of miles outside of town. If you need to have any fabrication done, something breaks, you need something made in stainless steel or other metals like that, it has to be TIG welded, and you need somebody who knows what they're doing, There's a business down here called, it's just outside of the town of Milbridge, and it's Kennedy Marine, and they will do all kinds of custom fabrication. They can even come to your boat if need be. But if you need something small, you can take it off and bring it to them. So right now I'm leaving the town of Milbridge into the town of Steuben. And so far since I left town, I've only gone about 1.5 miles. And coming up on my right, there's a little takeout place. I think it's called the Meadows, and they specialize in Portuguese food. They're not open for the season yet, but they will be shortly. And the other thing that I wanted to point out, especially if you have a wooden boat, there's a sawmill up here on the right. Right here. There's a sawmill, and we're 2 miles outside of town. I can let a car by me. And right here on my left is Kennedy Marine, and they do all the work for all of the commercial workboats around here. Mostly they're all lobster boats. Turn around here. That's as far as I'm going to take it, but I just wanted to show you that there are services available if you need them. They do stock Cummins parts. Across the street from them is a fiberglass boat builder, and largely around here they're building around here they build lobster boats. They don't really build anything else, although you could have them build you a lobster yacht. So now I'm just returning into Milbridge, only at 2 miles outside of town. And here's another option. There's a road that runs beside the Family Dollar here. Goes down to the bay. And it's just a few hundred yards long. And there's a point where you could land a dinghy right here. I'm not going to go all the way down there, but you could possibly land your dinghy down here and walk ashore, and it's a short hop right to the grocery store. Maybe I will take a run down. It does say private property and all that sort of thing, but there are people that do land dinghies and then come ashore, and nobody really says anything. But that's a possibility. And over to my left, you can't see it through all these brush and trees and whatnot, but the town marina is over that way. So if you're coming in, you drop the hook in one of the anchorages, and you don't want to dinghy over to the town marina and walk a half a mile into town. This is a shorter distance to go. I think if you're just doing a short hop and picking up a few groceries and not spending a lot of time. But a lot of lobster boats, they run their tenders ashore here and tie them up. So after I turned around and I'm coming back up to Main Street, you can see Family Dollar is over here to my right. If I take a right out of here, it's only a short hop over to the Bayside Shop and Save supermarket. Over here on my left now. And the Vasquez Mexican restaurant, takeout. A lot going on in Milbridge these days. And of course, there are all kinds of churches and so forth, and real estate people, and nursing home on my left. And if I don't take a right to head back to the marina, but I go straight, you'll see that right behind the Baja Bank and Trust is the Red Barn Motel. So if you wanted to get off the boat and spend a day or two, you can stay at the Red Barn Motel. And just a little ways down the road is Viking Lumber. And if I go a little bit beyond that, there's also a Napa Auto Parts. But I'm not going to go all the way down there. I'll just turn around here at Viking Lumber. And they also have a hardware store in there. You can also buy paint and other such things.
Hold on, girl, now wait just a minute. I've got something to say, you should hear it. Oh, I'm happy to make time.